Welcome to the ACEVEDO store. Today I'm with Damien.
Hello.
Today we're going to review Ninja Terminator from 1986, directed by Godfrey Ho, produced by Joseph Lai, and also re-edited from a South Korean movie, The Uninvited Guess of the Star Ferry from 1984, but we're celebrating and reviewing Ninja Terminator for its 40th anniversary. You know that. Damien, this is your first time watching it, correct?
Yes, it is.
What was the context you were given before seeing the movie that I gave you a bit?
There was a Garfield phone. I know that. There was a Garfield phone, and then it was a lot of footage like spliced together.
Yeah, taking like 80% of one movie and then splicing in 20% of ninja footage. Yeah. So the story is about the Ninja Empire and how they assembled together the Golden Ninja Warrior. But then the ninjas, three of the parts apart from each other, and so they're fighting each other to go after it. Meanwhile, one of the ninjas that stole the Ninja Warrior gets killed, and his sister is getting stalked by the Ninja Empire to go after the Golden Ninja Warrior. And so Jaguar Wong, from the character from the other movie, has to go there and save Michiko, that's the character, while Henry the ninja, played by Richard Harrison, of course, is training out to be a ninja until the final ninja duel. So that's the basic plot of the film. Damien, what do you think of the movie?
I thought that movie was amazing. It was probably because it was in 4K. It looked a lot better, but I thought the coloring was really great.
Where the lighting really shines when they put a little bit more effort into the ninja part of the movie and all that.
The acting was pretty good without the dubbing.
It was somewhat decent and all that. I think I like the acting a little bit better from the Korean part of the movie and all that. I'm not too sure about Richard Harrison because he gives this like stoic look, but it's not much going on like behind the eyes, which is kind of funny because Richard Harrison, I read his interviews, he always says like, oh, they never hired me for my body because he was a bodybuilder when he started his career. They hired me because I was a really good actor. It looks like he was kind of phoning it in, no pun intended, with this movie and all that. He's like, oh, this is just a paycheck and all that. I could just be here a few weeks in Hong Kong. And I like you pointing out that it looks like he did dyed his hair the blonde.
Yeah, he did. He 100% did.
Which kind of makes sense. You know, he's been acting since the 1950s and all that, so part of the gray hair was getting up there. But now when you see pictures of him, he does let the gray hair show and all.
Yeah. I imagine he wanted to look younger for the role, so he just dyed his hair blonde.
And also the cinematography I really enjoyed of the Korean part of the movie. Although, as we see, crew members somehow sneak in the backdrop.
Oh my god, the one shot where you can see the boom guy just in the corner.
Yeah, just holding like the light over there.
The one scene where they first kidnap her. Where was it? It was like a bar. It goes dark, but like you can still see her.
Oh yeah.
She just hides behind a thing.
I mean, like, why couldn't they just cut it with like, I don't know, like film like a black out negative and all that and just splice it in there and all that? Or like maybe like turn off all the lights.
Yeah, I don't think it's dark in here enough.
Someone put on the lens camp and all that. Or maybe they were hoping for the fact like whatever film projector was playing the movie and all that, the light bulb was too dark enough that you wouldn't see it in detail. But they wouldn't realize 4K would be a thing in the future and we could just see it right there in front of us.
I love the main villain guy who has the wig on.
Yeah, played by Hwang Jong-lee, which I watched the original Korean version, The Uninvited Guess of the Star Ferry. It never explains why he wears a blonde wig at all.
And then he just takes it off. I thought for the majority of that movie, that was like supposed to be his actual hair. And then he just takes it off. And it's like, why were you wearing that?
It's kind of like the cinematic equivalent of, you know, where a character takes off his sunglasses and now it's a serious conversation. Yeah. This is that, but with the wigs. I feel like the movie's a little bit above decent and all that, but it does suffer a little bit of its like story-wise and all that, where kind of like not a little bit all over the place and all that, but it's really much like cutting back and forth, and Richard Harrison is there not really doing too much. But I would say the ninja scenes were very entertaining and all that. along with the Korean part of the movie and all. Because usually my issue with these ACEVEDO ninja movies is that like the ninja scenes are so sparse and the rest of the movie is pretty lackluster and all that. Something like The Ultimate Ninja or Ninja Squad. But for this movie, I actually really enjoy both parts of the movie and all that. It's like, oh, we get ninja footage and we also get Jaguar Wong here beating everybody up.
The fight scenes were also really great. That one scene where the guys are exchanging briefcases.
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh my god, they had so many disguises throughout that movie. It was so funny.
Some of them were actually good. Some of them were just like, how could you not recognize that character? Like when Jaguar Wong picks up Lily and all that, and he's wearing this mustache and a black-haired wig, and I was like, how could you not recognize him?
In the same briefcase scene, one of the guys, he got kicked into the trunk, and then they just drove off. They left that guy in the trunk. You gotta get him out of there, dude.
I don't know, it was on the guy's part, because why would you jump forward into a trunk?
I like the ninja outfits. I thought they looked really cool. Like the camo one that the main dudes especially had.
Yeah, the camouflage makes sense and all that. I'm not too sure about the red out ninja outfit. Or maybe you wear that for like special occasion. You know how the red ninjas were in their ninja empire layer and all that? Mm-hmm. The main red ninja, not played by fellow Kova, is like a different actor, but he has like a little like black cape with like, well, it looks like kind of like a, do you notice that like a purple bat on the back of his cape and all that?
Yeah.
The funny thing you mentioned about the color of the ninja outfits, I just remember in the later movies, they kind of get absurd with the colors, whereas like no ninja will wear this in real life. Like you get pink ninjas, you get yellow ninjas, of course you get red ninjas, of course.
What else was it? The little robot was able to just move and like walk like that. Did they have like a string like pulling the robot when it was holding the VHS?
You know, that would probably be a good idea. I wasn't paying too much attention how they pulled around the robot, because you notice a bit, it does have wheels on the back of the robot and all that. I would like mention, it's a fun fact that the robot is like a bootleg version of Omega Supreme, which is apparently a collectible toy now. I remember I saw it on eBay for like $400. But there's a reason why the robot is like that. Godfrey Ho wrote in the script that he wanted a robot to deliver the messages. I'm not sure what he had in mind. Maybe it's like, do you know those like robots where like there was this whole trend in the 80s or 90s where they're trying to make like these robots that serve you drinks that brings you like a little can of soda towards you? Yeah. Maybe he was thinking of that robot, like a... Which, logically speaking, like, if you were walking in the streets and you just saw a robot passing by you, you can't look away from that. But, like, what happened was their budget was quite low, so they ended up going to, like, one of the local markets and got a toy robot, and he was actually a little disappointed about it. It was like, why you got me such a small robot? At least they did what they did best with it, with, like, close zoom-in shots of it.
My only question is, like, the small robot was, like, really slow. Like, did the ninjas, did they like... send the robot out, like, out the front door, or they just, like, go to the front door and just leave it there?
You know, that's actually a pretty good question, because what was it? The first scene with the robot and all that, the famous robot and Garfield's phone scene and all that, which is not the first appearance of Garfield phone, it's the second appearance, but, like, Harry, played by Richard Harrison, when he opens the door, suddenly smoke comes in left and right, and I was like...
Oh my god. I thought the smoke was like the coolest things that they were doing.
Yeah, the way they did that, they basically had like a smoke machine and just blasted full max. The theory that a ninja just dropped it off in front of the door actually kind of makes more sense, because how would the small little robot just produce like that amount of smoke?
I know. Oh my god. Not the last scene, but the scene before the main guy is like, I got, what's her name, strapped with a bomb inside the building.
Oh, Machiko? Yeah,
Machiko,
that happens later in the movie and all that.
Like, it's so funny to me, because it's just like, the entire building's gonna explode with it. Like, there's nobody else in there. It's just her. She's just gonna get overkilled with that little bomb. And she tries to kick it and stuff. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
That's from the original Korean version and all that. And before you ask, no, they don't explain why they had to, like, do the overstep, such as killing her, which could have been done with a knife, like...
I know!
Or with a gun. Like, But no, they had to go ahead, call up some guy who knows how to make bombs, buy it off of him for like some absurd amount of money, and bring and set up this whole plot and all that. But it was an entertaining scene, so there was like, you know, there is a bit of stake to that.
Dude, like it's crazy that they did that cliff scene with the,
the fighting cliff scene and all that. Yeah, anytime I see them like fighting around concrete, I go, oh boy, because like you know for the fact they're like, you know, they're just risking it and all that. That cliff scene, like also running across the cliff as well.
What? Yeah, and one of the dudes is like when he did like his fake fall and stuff, like he was like really close to the edge. So I was like, oh my god, why would they do this?
Yeah, the fight choreography from the Korean part of the movie is really great and all that. I do enjoy like most of the fight choreography with the ninja scenes and all that, where it does get creative with ninja battles, which I heard from like from the audio commentary track and all that. Anybody can make a ninja movie. But a real ninja movie is when you have cool ninja gadgets. And so, which includes a small makeup mirror to like blind your ninja competitors and all that. And also ninja swords that shoot out smoke.
Oh my god. I want one of those swords in real life. Somebody make them now. The second to last fight scene with like the blonde dude, the heavy shoes that kept sinking into the sand.
Yeah, the heavy shoes and all that. I thought they were heavy shoes because it's never explained in the Korean version why he keeps sinking into the sand and all that.
It's oh my god. When he kills the dude, his legs are just completely stuck in the sand, and it's like
he drills himself in there first off.
He does the drill move, and it's like, dude, like, how did you get yourself into this situation? Like, he's still defending himself against the other guy, and
it's kind of interesting when you're watching that fight scene because you know for the fact they were filming it semi out of order and also without permits, because one famous thing we saw was there's a boat in the background.
Yeah, there's a boat. There's a lot
that
of
disappears 2 shots later and all that. So they were filming it without permits. So you sometimes you see like random people walking by or like looking around like, oh, they're filming a movie around here and all that. Oh yeah, they were filming in Kowloon Park and all that for the ninja stuff, which is 5 minutes away from the ACEVEDO offices. So they didn't even have to like go that far. I was very inspired from this film to make C.I.A. Ninja. But I literally did the same thing where it's like I filmed all over my house. The front part will be Grandma's house along with the garage. The kitchen will be Larry's ninja home and all that. The backyard will be Willie's lair. Some of that footage is like looks like it shot on the same day, like all the stuff like the Kowloon Park and all that. Party went there 2 days. One day where it was really raining, the second day when it wasn't really raining and all that.
The first scenes was like you can see like the wet like concrete.
Yeah, the wet concrete, and then like there's the other scenes where you can see the rain actually falling.
I really like the beginning scene, like where he's like running from the other ninjas. There's that one part where he's like leaning on like the roof and they just run past him.
Well, they couldn't see him because he's such a great ninja.
He's just a great ninja, man.
I was surprised when watching the movie. There isn't a lot of movie A talking to movie B scenes because you see that more often in the later ninja movies and all that, where it kind of gets a little bit funny if you know. It's like, oh, we have this American here in Hong Kong talking to somebody who's in the Philippines that was filmed three years ago. But there is one scene where Jaguar 1 is talking to Harry on the phone, of course, to the Garfield phone and all that.
The Garfield phone.
The Garfield phone. It's very iconic. Garfield phones went up the prices when the internet discovered Ninja Terminator. There is a funny story where apparently, which it kind of doesn't make sense, but Godfrey Ho does explain, like in an interview on the Blu-ray set, they were looking for a phone. Which, I don't know why couldn't they just use the phones in their offices. Like, they use their offices throughout the movie and some of the scenes and all that. But so he sent one of the production members to look for a phone. He comes back with a Garfield phone. And Garfield was like, oh, it's a cat. It's a Garfield cat. Let's put it in the movie. Like, weren't there any other phones in stock?
There's no other phones, just Garfield.
You know, I'm kind of happy with the fact there's a Garfield phone in this movie and all that. Because it would be boring if it's just like a regular, like, you know, standard phone and all.
To me, I think the best scene in the whole movie was probably the final fight scene.
Oh yeah, the final ninja fight scene, which was really fun to like watch and all that. And also it's filmed at Devil's Peak, which most of the ninja movies are filmed up there.
The little prop they had that like split into 3, I thought the
Golden Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, I thought they really utilized that really well. Just with the idea of like, oh, your body parts are connected to it, so it becomes indestructible.
I actually find that creative and all that because, with these movies, sometimes what Godfrey Ho says is that like the audience doesn't care about the story, all they care about is the action and all that. But they did put the amount of detail and effort, even though I don't think there was a complete script and all that, just to make sure like if the guy has the right part of the statue, his right arm is really great and all that, or the middle part, then it's like back in his torso is really great and all.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then like the final scene, like the guy behind him like just blows up. It's like, why did he blow up?
Because it's not worth living. He has filled the ninja empire, as he said at the end of the movie and all that.
All right, kill me. Your death will serve no purpose. I've lost faith. I can never return to the ninja empire.
What do you thought of the soundtrack?
I thought the soundtrack was pretty good. I liked listening to some of it.
Yeah.
Especially the beginning.
Oh yeah, the beginning with that, I forgot what it is, because the soundtrack is entirely made up of stolen music. Not a single track of original music was produced for this movie.
That's crazy.
Which is pretty standard with Hong Kong films at the time and all that. Well, sometimes they'll make original music. Most of the music is stolen from Pink Floyd, Tomita, Tangerine Dream, which is my favorite because I see that band's music gets stolen left and right in most of the Hong Kong movies I watch. But the opening one, it's from an anime, but I'm forgetting which anime. I think it's called L Game, but no, it's not a theme from the anime. It's a remix version of the theme of the anime that was released on vinyl.
Crazy.
According to Godfrey Ho, what will happen is that they will actually contact Sony, like Sony Music Company and all that, and they will ask for, do you have action music for a movie? And they will get sent samples and all that. I'm not sure what form they will come in. And Sony's like, okay, here are the samples. It will cost you this amount of money to license them. They wouldn't respond to that later. They would just use those samples for the movies. Godfrey O jokingly said, the music tracks, it said copy, not copyright.
Okay.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
I think that's all the stuff I really have from my opinions.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie and all that. I think my main issues with it is lack of transitions, because sometimes we jump around from location to location.
Oh yeah,
and all that.
yeah. It was jumping around. I was getting a little confused on some parts.
I would say Richard Harrison claims to be a good actor, but the thing is, that's a terrible way of putting it, but he does. He really looks like he's quite literally phoning it in and all that, because he's has this deadpan look. He's on the phone. Yes, the ninjas. I will go after you, ninjas. The only time he looks very excited is actually when, ironically, when his wife is on screen.
When his wife is on screen.
He's like, he loves his steamed crabs.
I love the shot too of when he's on the phone. It's just it's just this. Just on the Garfield phone, just yes. He did the same pose, by the way, when they showed it twice.
Maybe they shot it on the same day.
It's same day. It just got up and then sat back down.
Put on a different shirt. Although I heard from interviews that he really had a fun time in Hong Kong, but more like the vacation part of Hong Kong. Not really much of the filming part of Hong Kong, so that's why he looks a little bit bored doing this and all that. Like
how Adam Sandler, a lot of his movies is obviously just vacations with his friends.
But Adam Sandler is funny. He's actually trying to put in work and effort where you're not. Richard Harrison here is literally phoning in his acting and all that.
Oh my god.
I do hear he's better in other movies, he's pretty famous for westerns. But how do you feel that because of this film, and also being edited into 20 other ninja movies, that Harrison decided to end his acting career?
I don't think he should have. Because, honestly, just the camo ninja outfit that he wore, I could have seen him playing, maybe old Solid Snake for like a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Yeah, I surprised you were mentioning that comparison and all that. Probably could work out. You probably could have been like some old fashioned like military guy if he worked with the right directors.
Because in Metal Gear 4, Solid like one of the Solid Snakes, he's like really old and grizzled, and he has that mustache. Like he could play him. Like I could see it.
Here's the weird thing about Richard Harrison in this movie and all that. This is probably his most famous film work in the last like 35 years. The reason like most people know Richard Harrison is probably because of Ninja Terminator. Or all his other ninja movies and all that. Well, you get your Western fans who know Harrison as the guy in the Western movies and all that.
And I mean, it's a terrible way to be remembered. I mean, not that I want to be remembered, but I mean, at least I'd like to remember something better than this. This was the worst of the worst of the worst.
But like, I bet you know, if you threw a rock to a bunch of people who know Richard Harrison, they're going to say, we know him from Ninja Terminator because of that Garfield phone.
The Garfield phone. It's a very iconic thing of the movie. It should have been in the poster. That would have been really cool.
Making everything on serious and all that. Let's see. Let me look at this real. Well, you got the same crabs getting killed and all that.
I remember he threw the little thing at the crab.
Oh yeah, animals were definitely harmed in making this film. I guess we kind of exhausted our conversation here a bit about the review. What rating would you give it?
I give it a 5.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. I would give it like a 3.7 out of 5. It's not there to be a 4 out of 5, but it's a little bit above that compared to the other martial arts movies I've seen, like The Big Boss Part 2. And
I really like any kind of movie, so I give everything like a high rating I watch.
Or maybe you could be like the opposite of Harmon White. What's the guy's name who gave Toy Story 3 a bad review?
I don't remember.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Armand Wright. Yeah, that's it. Armand White. You could be the opposite of him, where instead of giving negative reviews to every good movie, you just get positive reviews.
I give positive reviews.
Every bad movie.
A movie has to be really bad for me to not like it.
Yeah, that's why I like Ninja Terminator and all that. Although it has its flaws, it's very entertaining. I'm not particularly bored by watching it. When it gets a little boring, then the movie suffers and all that. But when it's like Ninja Terminator, where like it has everything going on for it and all that, it's a really enjoyable film experience. I want to get into talking about the limited edition 2,500 copies of this limited edition of the Ninja Terminator Blu-ray set. So this is a pretty neat set and all that. It features this little thing that keeps the disc in there. Little piece of cardboard. But not only includes Ninja Terminator in a new 4K remaster from the original negatives right here and all that. It also features the original South Korean version that was re-edited into Ninja Terminator, the Uninvited Guess of the Star Ferry. And let me just pull this up here. A booklet.
A booklet?
Yeah, with essays.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to read and all that. It goes a little bit of history and all that. Some of the facts I knew beforehand because there was like previous interviews from like cast and crew members from these IFT Ninja movies. The unfortunate part about this Blu-ray release, I feel, is that for the Uninvited Guest of the Star Ferry, they used a incomplete 60mm print that it's really rough in the water, like rough and tough print. Like there's like jump cuts, spices all over the place. Let me read a little bit back here. A battered 60mm print. They put that in the box, folks. A battered 16mm print. It's a little bit unfortunate because it feels like you could just re-edit the 4K remastered footage with this version of the movie. For any scenes that are not in Ninja Terminator, you're stuck with the 60mm footage and all that. But it's kind of like, I feel like it's a little lazy. Like, well, why would you have to watch this movie in a battered 16mm print? Why not just remix like the 4K master, which is in this like 60mm version, so you get like the best of both worlds and all that. But no. Also, this is a limited edition, so this movie is never getting re-released unless fans out there, because there is a standard edition which does not include this.
Re-release it, guys.
Yeah.
More people need it.
Or maybe put it on Tubi.
Put it on Tubi.
There's a bonus feature in this movie on the Ninja Terminators that actually is a featurette on why Richard Harrison is in all these ninja movies, which includes an archival interview from the 2000s with Richard Harrison talking about the movies. Richard Harrison has never given a full interview of the ninja movies. He has done interviews talking about his whole career, and then the ninja movies were brought up. He's like, oh, you did some ninja movies in the 80s, right? He's like, yeah, I filmed one, and they edited that until 25.
And I have to admit, I never got to even see the script.
I think he's trying to like cover for himself in some of those interviews because he says like he only been to Hong Kong once, even though evidently he's been there like at least more than 2 times or 3 times. Like probably one section for the Thunderbolt movie, Scorpion Thunderbolt, Majestic Thunderbolt, Infernal Thunderbolt. The second time, where we have Ninja Terminator, Ninja Thunderbolt, and there's a 3rd or 4th movie in that mix I'm forgetting. The 3rd time around, where he's like in a bunch of them, like the Ninja Operation movies, and he's all over the place and all that. And he's spliced in like a special guest where he appears in like, hello, walks out, that's it.
Oh.
He isn't like a good source, even though he was in fact there. Because he is trying to hide the fact that he was probably tricked into like being in these ninja movies.
Yeah.
But like it's actually as a hidden Easter egg, so it's not even on the menu. You have to do something on the bonus features and all that just to actually watch the little video essay and all that. With Harrison being very upset about being all these ninja movies and all that, there's that famous quote of his. He said like the crew members who forced him to do it, well, forced, tricked. Godfrey Ho and Joseph Lai and all that. I forgot the exact quote. I probably have to find a clip of it where he's like,
they're disgusting people. They did disgusting films. I guess they made money from it, you know. But then prostitutes can make money too, so I guess it doesn't mean much.
Firstly, he's shaming sex workers, which I have an issue with and all that.
What?
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the masterminds behind this and all that. Godfrey Ho, let's talk a little bit about him. Started out his career as a teacher, apparently, and then got bored out and went into like films. He started working at Shaw Brothers. Do you want to guess who was his co-worker?
Who?
John Woo.
What?
Because John Woo was also working at Shaw Brothers, both of them as assistant directors to the famous Cheng Chu, who was like one of the best directors of Shaw Brothers. But Godfrey Ho mentioned that like in some interviews that like, well, what happened is that Cheng Chu was he woke up late. Like he wouldn't go to work until like 1 p.m. because he'll stay up all night. And so like, but the crew were mandated to be there at 9. And they had to wait for Cheng Chu to show up at like 1.
At 1? Jesus.
So like what Godfrey Ho did was he just went around the studio learning about other stuff and all that, the costumes, and especially the editing and dubbing process. So Godfrey Ho was trying to make his own independent films outside of the studio, which included one of his early films, Paris Killers. But somehow, from making these independent films, he got to meet Joseph Lai. Basically got into the business because his sister was already running a film distributor company, ACEVEDO Film Distribution. And they were pretty famous for like exporting and importing like movies outside of Hong Kong into Hong Kong and all that, mainly to territories that we don't really think about, like, you know, the Philippines, South Africa. So Joseph Lai learned from like film distribution and basically had access to all these movies and all that. Then we got Thomas Ting, who was doing a similar thing. They partnered up together to make Also Asia films. They also brought along Godfrey Ho as well. This was like, I don't know, mid-70s, I think. Basically, what they did was they would try to have Korean/Hong Kong productions, hence why Godfrey Ho's name appears in all Dragon Lee movies. Godfrey Ho did make actual movies and all that before the ninja movies, such as The Dragon Day Hero, which is pretty, like, I would say it's slightly better than Ninja Terminator in some capacity, because it's a kind of more of a fuller realized movie and all that, also featuring Philip Ko, by the way. And Bruceploitation is really digs into this and all that, because the cut and paste genre kind of like originates from Bruceploitation in some shape or form. Probably originated a little bit earlier, because you have Fist of Unicorn, which is not associated with anybody that we're talking about, but basically Bruce Lee was there as the fight choreographer. Someone secretly filmed footage of him as teaching fight choreography and cut it into the movie and said, starring Bruce Lee.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah! Not bad. But what's this now? Huh! What's that one called? That one is called The Union of the Heavens and the Earth.
So it kind of originated from Bruce Exploitation because what the Bruce Exploitation actors would talk about, like Hong Jong Zhao, what they do is that they will film scenes sometimes with 2 cameras or like with 2 different lenses. What he didn't know, they were filming some scenes twice. One for the actual movie they're filming, one for a separate movie that they're going to splice him into without telling him about it. So some of the actors don't know how many movies they made because they are literally like spliced into different other movies and all that. So that happened with like Dragon Lee as well and all that. And Bruce Lee, here's my favorite example. There's a movie called Bruce's Secret Ninja that came out in the 80s. It's spliced from 2 different Bruce Lee movies. Bruce Lee's Greatest Revenge and Bruce Against the Shaolin Bronzeman. And basically cut them together to make a new movie with new English dubbing.
Dude, that's so crazy.
So this is like basically their practice ground for what will later be the ninja movies. Somewhere between the late 70s, early 80s, Tommy Singh and Joseph Lai had a falling out and all that. So that's when Joseph Lai made ACEVEDO Films Arts Unlimited. Not to be confused with ACEVEDO Films Distribution from his sister's company that already pre-existed beforehand. And then the one movie that kicked it off with this, Enter the Ninja and Revenge of the Ninja from Canon Films. But basically, they kind of give the prototype of the ninja movies, at least for Enter the Ninja, to get an iconic like Western actor, Franco Nero from Italy, to be a ninja and all that. So from that, they're like, hey, we can make a lot of money from this. And what we did with the Bruce Exploitation actors, where we just secretly film them and splice their footage into the other movies, we could do that with American actors. We could just hire them for 2 weeks, film all this ninja footage, they go away, and with all that footage, we make 4 separate ninja movies. I'll also have a film library I have access to, and several connections across the world to buy up all these movies for real cheap. Taiwan was a really cheap place they could buy movies, Philippines were a really cheap place to buy movies and all that. And just splice them together and make ninja movies.
That's the method. That's like the real-time fan dubs, like the Sonic the Hedgehog ones. Like, they just dub over the movie of, like, old footage. That's crazy. How much did they make? Like,
I know for, like, what was that? They will make, like, some chunk of change from selling the video sales. That was their main market, ACEVEDO Films, like, selling these movies on VHS and all that, outside of Hong Kong. Because in Hong Kong, they will probably be buried by, like, the actual good movies. I know Ninja Terminator got a French theatrical release. Some of these movies, like, will end up in South Africa and all that.
I mean, they'll never come out, certainly not out of that country. I thought maybe they'd be shown in that country, but not in the rest of the world.
So that's a bit of the history of, how all this came to be and all that. But I'm hoping, like, with Ninja Terminator, like, we get the other movies with HD Masters and all that. There's, like, a few of them have gotten HD Masters exclusively to Germany only.
Germany?
Because Germany actually has a pretty good home physical media market. So they're really test out the waters on stuff and all that. They also get like battered film prints for the ninja movies, which is a little bit unfortunate and all that. Probably for the next release, they're probably going to make a 10 movie set with like the best of all the ninja movies. Maybe a box of all the Ninja Operation movies.
You know what? How about they just put all the ninja movies together and make a 20-hour long movie?
I hear that with some people, like, I'll read YouTube comments and they'll say, oh, what if we just grab all the Richard Harrison ninja footage and just make that its own movie?
Just its own movie, yeah.
Someone has to do that. I guess we could just wrap up our conversation here and all that. So overall, it's a pretty fun movie and all that. I would recommend getting the Neon Eagle Blu-ray release because it's probably the best way to see this movie. You could watch unofficial uploads on YouTube, but they're like the... what was the thing? They're cropped 4x3 VHS versions of the film, or like the old widescreen version that came from like a DVD.
Widescreen.
Or so you should get the Blu-ray release to watch it in 4K, the way that Ninja Terminator is meant to be seen.
Mm-hmm. It's the perfect version.
The best version out there. Quite literally, in fact, So that's all the review. Have a nice day, and later on, come back to our video store.